Hello students, this is Abhishek Soni and you are watching Tutor Police, your own tutors. Today we are going to learn chapter 10 of chapter 12 of Indian Constitution, class 10th MP board. Okay, this was the confusion. Now, before we go forward, I would like to tell you that please hit like, subscribe and share button because we need your comments also. So do comments. Okay, so we are going next. Today, what we are going to learn? Today, we have to learn about Indian Constitution. Now, what is Constitution? I will tell you in this just simple words. See, every country has some certain set of rules for their political governments, for their political framework, for their municipalities and constituencies, or legal rule okay, also. So, this is the basic information on Constitution. Okay, it decides on various types of gallantry medals and various types of things, rules, regulations, countries' borders. All these things are in the Constitution. Okay, so we now read the book's definition on Constitution. Now, what is written in here? The Constitution specifies the functions, powers, responsibilities and structure of all the constituency units of the government, with the legislature, the judiciary and the executive. Also, I have told you that the legislature, judiciary and the executives are come under the Constitution. Okay, so Indian Constitution is also this. So next, this is the simple cheese. This is simple thing. Okay. So this was the simplest definition of Constitution. Okay. Many things are there. So what we are need to learn today, we will going to learn need and concept of Constitution, the Constituent Assembly, the drafting committee, and the preamble of the Constitution. Okay. Till here we will learn. Now we are going forward. Now we know what is the Constitution. Now we have to know why is the need of Constitution. Okay. So Constitution is needed for properly running the government and clearly defining the roles and functions of the legislature, judiciary and administration. So also for ensuring a balance and coordination amongst them. Now what I need to tell you that if any country don't have any constitution or certain rules for regulation, judiciary and administration, so their management will fallen, or there there will be anarchy. Okay, you know anarchy where a king rule happens and there is no other rule. There is only one rule, that the powerful one will rule. Okay, before our independence time, there was anarchy of British government. Okay, this was anarchy. Clear? Now, next we are going against Constitution may be said, just a minute, Constitution may be said to be a document which contains laws, rules and regulation for proper governance of a country. This is what clearly what I have told you, that Constitution may be said to be a document which contains laws, certain rules, and regulation for proper governance of a country. Okay. Now, the makers of Indian Constitution consulted and took useful provisions from Constitution of several countries. In here we want to the book. So they Constituent Assembly or Constitution Assembly, they want to bring They want to took and only good things from different types of different countries' constitutions and took them in our constitution. So it make it perfect. Okay. So now, directive principles. Indian Constituent Assembly took many things from other countries' constitution. Okay, in which where the directive principles have been taken from the Constitution of Ireland. Okay, the idea of fundamental rights have been taken from the Constitution of the United States of America. Fundamental rights had been taken from America. Okay, the Constitution, the concept of federation of states, federal form of government, taken from Canadian Constitution. Okay, India is a federal government. Okay, and this concept is taken from Canadian Constitution. Okay, there is a considerable influence of the development that occurred during the freedom movement on the Constitution. This is not important, but simple thing. One more thing, that India's Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, member of parliament, concept of member of parliament has been taken from British government. Okay, has been taken from British government, because they have lower house and upper house. Okay, now formation of Constituent Assembly. Indian Constitution has been drafted by a Constituent Assembly, which was formed by mutual consent of the leaders associated with the freedom movement and then the British administration. Okay, now here we have to see these things, because you know that in 1947 there was a pre-agreement that India will be India will be given to Indian rulers or leaders on 15th August 1947, and this was the reason behind mutual consent of Indian leaders and British administration. Okay, the basis of this plan, cabinet mission, was plan of 1946. This was a delegation comprising, just a minute, this was a delegation comprising 3 members of British cabinet on the basis of cabinet mission suggestion, and members of Constituent Assembly were elected in July 1946. Indian political leaders had accepted the proposals of the cabinet mission. Okay, in 1946 there was a cabinet mission. On the basis of cabinet mission, there were assembly, and this was elected in July 1946. Okay, now the country was administered on the basis of Government of India Act 1935 during the period of formation of the Constitution to its enactment. Okay, through 1935 Act, Government of India Act, our Constituent Assembly were formulated. Now there were our personal set of 292 members were from provincial assemblies. These members were elected in July 1946. Okay. Now 93 from native princely states. You know that Kashmir was a native princely state, and they are clarified also. During British rule, certain princely states were under the rule of Raja, Maharajas, and not under the direct administration of British rule. Okay. Now, Kashmir, Hyderabad, Gwalior, Patiala, Mysore, Baroda, and Travancore. Bhopal was also there, and 4 from the chief commissionaries. Thus, there were 398 members. Okay, 292 plus 93 plus 4 of the chief commissionaries. Okay, these were the members of Constituent Assembly. Now, you can take screenshot. Now we are going forward. The number of members of the Constituent Assembly after the partition was 299. And as the member of the Muslim League didn't participate in the meetings of the Constituent Assembly. Do you know that why? Because in 1946 there was a confirmed and clear indication that Pak Muslim League is wanting a separate nation called as Pakistan. Therefore, they didn't part in the Constituent Assembly of India. Okay. Now, the formation of the Constituent Assembly was the result of the Swaraj Bill prepared under the direction of Lokmanya Bal Gangadhar Tilak in 1895. So, the formation of the Constituent Assembly was the result of the Swaraj Bill. In 1895, Lokmanya Bal Gangadhar Tilak had the idea of Constituent Assembly for India. Okay, in 1895. Now, the statement of Mahatma Gandhi on January 1922, the Indian Constitution shall be as per the wishes of the people of India. Mahatma Gandhi on January 1922 said that Indian Constitution shall be as per the wishes of people of India. Okay, now, Convention of February 1924. Now, the member of the Constituent Assembly could not be elected directly by adult franchise. Therefore, as a practical solution, provincial assemblies were utilized as election bodies. The members of Constituent Assembly could not be elected directly. What does this mean? This means that they can't be there for their adult franchise or their leaders because of their leadership. So they have to be elected. Okay. Now, the prominent leaders associated with the freedom movement like Rajendra Prasad, Dr. Rajendra Prasad, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, Sardar Patel, Maulana Abdul Kalam Azad, Shyama Prasad Mukherjee, Sardar Baldev Singh, etc. These were the main persons behind the formation of Constitution. They gave the valuable guidance to the Constituent Assembly. Frank Anthony present the Anglo-Indian community, and H.P. Modi was representative of the Parsi community. So, Aladi Krishna Swami Iyer, Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar, and K.M. Munshi were K.M. Munshi were constitutional experts, because these all three persons has studied law. Okay. Now, Sarojini Naidu and Vijay Lakshmi Pandit were women representative. B.N. Rao was constitutional advisor. Okay. These were the parts of Constituent Assembly. Now, the first meeting of the Constituent Assembly was held on 9th December 1946. On which day the first meeting of the Constituent Assembly was held? On 9th December 1946. Now, Dr. Satyanarayana Sinha was elected as chairman to preside the meeting. We all know that every meeting has a chairman, need a chairman. So, Dr. Satyanarayana Sinha was elected as first chairman of the preside the meeting. The second meeting of the Constituent Assembly was held on 11 December 1946, in which Dr. Rajendra Prasad was elected as permanent chairman. So, Dr. Satyanarayana Sinha was a temporary chairman, and in the second meeting, Rajendra Prasad was elected as permanent chairman. And we all know that Dr. Rajendra Prasad was the first president of India. During the period of 2 years, 11 months and 18 days, total 166 meetings were held in 11 conventions. Okay, and the new constitution was passed and adopted on 26 November 1949 after India's independence, on 26 November 1949. This is also called as Constitution Day, okay, or Samvidhan Divas. Now, certain provisions of the Constitution in respect of citizenship, election and interim parliament were adopted with immediate effect, and remaining provisions became effective from 26 January 1950, which was called as the date of promulgation of the Constitution. On 26 November 1949, the Constituent Assembly passed and adopted the Constitution, and from 26 January 1950, this Constitution was adopted and regulated. Okay. Now, Appointed members of the Constituent Assembly from the existing provinces was Central Province in Bihar, Central India region, Bhopal, Gwalior, Pandit Ravi Shankar Shukla, Sri Govind Das, Hari Vishnu Kamath, Ghanshyam Singh Guch, Gopi Krishna Vijayvargiya, Radha Vallabh Vijayvargiya, and Thakur Lal Singh. Okay, these were also the important members of the Constituent Assembly. Now, in the second part, 12.3 Drafting Committee. What is Drafting Committee? Every constitution has a certain members who studied law, and they have certain memories and information of other different countries to regulate our country. And in drafting committee, these members are also always important. Now, what does the drafting committee do? Drafting of the constitution was not an easy task. Therefore, different subcommittees were formed to facilitate drafting of the constitution. 10 subcommittees relating to matters of procedure and 8 subcommittees related to matters of facts. So these 8 committees, subcommittees, propounded the matter facts that needed in our constitution. Okay. So now, important subcommittees were Rules, Business and Drafting Committees, Committee on Fundamental Rights, Union Power Committee, Minority Rights Subcommittee, etc. Okay, in these 8 committees, there were rules committees on committees. So, now, to give final shape to the rewards of suggestions of the above subcommittees, a drafting committee under the chairmanship of Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar was formed. So who was the president of chairman or chairman of drafting committee? Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar. Okay, Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar. Okay. Now, other members of this committee were N. Gopalaswamy Iyengar, Aladi Krishna Swamy Iyer. We have also read these names back. Now, Sayyid Muhammad Shahidullah, K.M. Munshi. These 2 persons was subsequently replaced by N. Madhava Rao and T.T. Krishnamachari. Okay. The draft of Constitution was submitted to the President of Constitutional Assembly on 21 February 1948. Thereafter, the detailed discussions were held in the Constitutional Assembly. Okay, we know that in every meeting there is a discussion. The Constitutional Assembly submitted it to the Constitutional Assembly. To the President of Constituent Assembly. So he and detailed discussions on this constitution was held. Okay, now the preamble of the constitution. We all know that every constitution has a preamble on its first page, and or we can say that it is the main soul of constitution. Okay, so in the preamble of the constitution of the framers of the constitution have incorporated the objectives of the constitution. So also, just a minute. So also value the ideals, and is called the essence or spirit of the constitution. It is resolve and feelings of the framers of the constitution. So what they have written in the constitution or preamble of the constitution is the simply reflecting need of constitution, of our Indian constitution. Okay. Now we are going forward to preamble. What we have written in the Constitution of India. Preamble. We, the people of India, having solemnly resolved to constitute India into a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic, and to secure to all its citizens justice, social, economic, and political liberty of thought, expression, belief, and faith and worship, equality of status and of opportunity, and to promote among them all fraternity, assuring the dignity of the individual and the unity and integrity of the nation. In our Constituent Assembly, this 26th day of November 1949, do hereby adopt, enact and give to ourselves this Constitution. So, this is the pledge. We can say that preamble is a pledge of our framers to persons of India or the pupils of India, to themselves also and also to the pupils of India. Okay? Now, we also know what is sovereign, we also know what is socialist, we will know that what is secular. This is called the preamble of the Constitution, and our Constitution reflects all of these things. We don't have any type of differences between our caste, creed, on the basis of caste, creed or color. And on 26 November of 1949, we adopt this Constitution. Okay? Now, thank you. And before you leave the channel, I would like to tell you that please like, share and subscribe. And if you have subscribed, please press the bell icon. Thank you. Thank you very much.